We
Yeah.
already discussed also with Johan, just I wanted to sync with him on the topics.
So you prepare together with Jochen the agenda.
Yes, yes. He wanted to add some topics regarding this RFC for the FS5 stack and file service binding support. Yeah, and we just discussed what could be the agenda for today.
Yeah. I had regarding the Noble part, I set up I discussed this today with Stefan Lewins, and we would have in the next 2 weeks a meeting together with Plamen and Beyhan and so on and so forth. And then it's an internal discussion how we can go further regarding GA of Noble. Most likely it goes in that direction that first of all SAP Bosch deployments have to validate the new Noble stem cell as with their Bosch deployment. And then if we have then feedback from their side, then there's something that we can switch. No? As the good thing might be if we get feedback from all of the sub-internals that their Bosch deployments will work. And then we make the switch in the community, then we might don't have to disable it when it comes to SAP. No? So this is also what we have to think about. No? If we do maybe the switch to the default stem cell in the community, no? If you have to switch it off, then first SAP inside or not. No?
Okay, so we can proceed here in the community as soon as we have a feedback from the colleagues. After the Walker validation on our landscapes, and then we can proceed. And meanwhile, we can continue run the validation pipeline here. As soon as we have the guard RNC, it will run automatically. And
yeah, maybe we can get some feedback from Carsten today.
Yes, I was curious what would be the next step in order to use the Nobel as a default stem cell, just as an impression from our side. I know that it is too early, but just to get some impression, and yeah, maybe Carson will know.
Yeah.
Let's see who will join today.
And do we also have some shares, stock shares, and are affected from the Trump show?
I actually I prefer to invest in real estate, and
okay.
I have shares on SAP shares.
Okay.
SAP forever, and that's all.
With that, you can sleep better, I would say.
I don't have.
Hello.
Hi, Johan.
Hi, Aftab. Hi, Johan. Hi, Dave.
Good evening, everyone. Hi.
Hi.
Yes, Stefan will not join.
Stefan is on vacation until beginning of May.
Nice. Okay.
Hi, Dave. What's what's on the US side regarding the drums tax show? Are you a rich guy or a poor guy meanwhile?
I'm a poor guy at the moment.
Yeah, poor guy.
This is yeah. I don't quite know how to express the feelings, so I won't try. But it's yeah.
Yeah, in Germany, most of the people invested just in ETFs in force, and they just wait and they spend some money each month, buy some ETFs and for their retirement.
Yeah, retirement,
and they keep it running
which
normally.
now moved 1 or 2 years more in the distant future.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's nothing with early retirement for you, Jochen, in SAP.
Too bad.
And me.
We're gonna work forever.
Let me see if Carson is online.
Yes,
Here comes.
Oh, there he
Okay.
is. Okay. Are we waiting for anyone else? Or...
I think that
no, I don't think so.
Okay.
yeah, we're complete. Hi, Carson. All right, so we have a few topics in the agenda for today. I think the first one is the novel stem cell validation. Actually, there is no change in the current status. We are still waiting for the colleagues to cut the GADA RNC release in order to run our pipeline end to end. It is still failing because we are waiting for the release from the colleagues.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I just wanted to discuss here, just to get an impression, what would be the next step if we assume that the Nobel is the Nobel stem cell is GA, how we can proceed after that? Just as an impression, I know that it is too early to discuss it, but
not too early. If we give feedback and say the validation is green and they release a GA version, we can add it as default, new default stem cell to CF deployment.
Yeah, I think for me, the indicator would be that they have a GA version of the stem cell itself.
Yeah.
Which I presume they're waiting for us to say that everything is functional. Once that happens, yeah, I don't see any reason why we can't change over the compilation pipeline and update the default stem cell criteria. Whether we want to have an ops file that allows people to revert back to
yes,
I don't know.
Yes, we should.
We can in the short term. Probably would be. We wouldn't support compiled releases with that, but I think that would be fine.
That's how we did it last time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have other Bosch releases, Dave, on your side beyond or only Cloud Foundry? Because in SAP we have other Bosch deployments, and actually we have some internal discussions. It would be good maybe to validate also these Bosch deployments. No?
Yeah, sure, but this is our job. So
means before we go with a switch completely in the community. No? So, I think we can handle both. No?
In the worst case, we have to delay the rollout in SAP a little bit if there are failing Bosch releases, but community would be ready when they have a GA release.
Yeah, I mean, We do also have commercial BOSH releases that we include in Tanzu platform for Cloud Foundry. But yeah, I think that's on us to validate and address any issues that arise there. I think it's safe to say that we won't be looking to switch to Noble for the commercial product, anytime soon compared to CF deployment. So it's not a problem for us if CF deployment is ahead and switches over to Noble before we decide to do that for the commercial product.
Okay.
And actually, do we switch directly, or we can first enable it for one of our environments, and after that?
So we can, I mean, we've already got it. We can enable it, say, on the experimental pipeline with the ops file that we're currently using in the validation pipeline. It just means that that environment won't have access to compiled releases until we switch the compiled releases pipeline over. And at that point, the rest of the pipelines wouldn't have access to compiled releases. So that all needs to really happen at the same time as switching the default stem cell criteria, I think.
Okay.
I mean, if the validation pipeline is passing, I don't think there's any reason for us to think that these pipelines should not pass. But that's obviously what they're there for, is to check all the different scenarios and confirm that.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's more clear now.
I just remember that switching the update releases pipeline to a major new stem cell version was quite tricky, and it took quite a number of attempts to get this huge big job green. So this may be challenging, and we should be well prepared when we do this.
Yeah.
And Johan, what have you done on the SAP side the last time with the switch of the default stem cell? Have you created an ops file internally to stick on
no,
the previous
we
one?
will
Or,
provide an ops file in CF deployment for keeping Jammy as a major stem cell version. And I think we also used this in SAP for some time until everyone was ready. Yeah, so this is absolutely no problem. And we would also keep one pipeline for validating the old stem cell version until it is really finally removed from the project. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we should be able to look back at the commit history on CF deployment to see the changes that we made and the kind of the timing of when we did that.
Did we have an issue to track all subtasks or not?
I don't remember.
We might have had an issue to track this, to all the different steps. Yeah. If not, then we should, well, for this time we have an issue. Yeah.
I didn't manage to find
maybe there was none. I can't remember. Yeah, if not, then we should track it in the current open issue.
Yes, okay.
No, there is only for the FIPS. We have one, and yeah, no, seems that we didn't track it in an issue. Yeah, okay.
Okay, next, maybe the bigger topic is related to the IPv6 test setup, which we are currently working. I've tapped already managed to deploy an additional infrastructure environment here called IPv6 Dobby. And he have also prepared, I see that it is currently running a validation pipeline for that. But it is currently, there is no anything related to IPv6. This is just a preparation because we are waiting for a colleague's Oliver mentioned that we already have a team which is going to work on and to adjust the bubble, the bubble project.
Okay.
There's a team within SAP. They have AWS knowledge, and they help to enhance the Bosch bootloader to run in a dual stack mode. This means that you can set up an environment, bubble environment for IPv4 and IPv6. Also, it's not an and or, but it's a dual stack approach because we assume, similar maybe to Broadcom, that IPv4 will exist for a very long time again. But we want to enable for new customers or who want to use it, the IPv6 stack. And this is something that's, the colleagues are now being active. Also let's see, they wanted to have something in April already. Let's see how quickly they can progress there. And if this is then available, then we can just update the bubble environment of this separate validation pipeline, also this new one, this IPv6 Dobby thing, so that we have separated everything from the existing validation pipeline and don't endanger any validation for our CF releases that we have. And then it for sure will take some time until everything is working. And then at a certain point when everything is working, I think we may can think if we update the other bubble environments that we already have to a dual stack environments and delete then this additional one. But this is then a future topic. First, we need the Bosch bootloader enhancement and get a validation and done and everything working in the different kind of components that we have in Cloud Foundry, that we can do the IPv6 egress calls. In parallel, in my team, we also help or support to provide here some test applications also that are doing an IPv6 egress calls. Also first would be that we have a CATS test with a Python application. And from this Python application, an IPv6 egress call can be done. We may add then test applications in other technologies. For example, also for us is Node and Java is quite important. This is something that we plan, and one interesting part is which is the IPv6 URL that could be called. Also, there's currently there several, let's say, public sites available like IPv6test.com and things like that. But the idea is also maybe not to become dependent on public sites. That may change, and also the service may be discontinued, and then our tests will fail. So it would be better if we have something maybe in the community.
Probably try to set up our own IPv6 endpoint. It can't be too difficult. Yeah, we have DNS, so our own DNS zone, so should be feasible.
But do you also have some ideas what we can do? Is this then creating a new zone, maybe setting up
we have a new zone for the new Dobby environment, and we could add manually a quad A record with an IPv6 address and map it to, I don't know, a load balancer or something. Our routing team can certainly assist here, and it can't be too difficult. Never did it, but
I'm just thinking if we need something then from the setup, because we need this IPv6 egress gateway.
Yeah, this of course we need the egress gateway in Bubble. The colleagues sounded very confident. They seem to know what they need to do in AWS in the Terraform templates to add IPv6 to all artifacts. So Alex Lies already changed some of the Go coding of Bubble, the CIDR validator, to enable this for IPv6. So I think we can be confident.
Yeah, but this is just for the Bosch Bootloader enhancement and the setup of Cloud Foundry. But
Yeah, but
then, but if we call in a target IPv6 URL, I think
then we create a target.
No?
This can't be impossible. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Good, then we also have a solution for that. No?
Yeah, we will keep working on that topic. Okay, then the next one is that we already have an RFC for the Linux FS5 stack. Just to open it.
Yeah, so it's rather short at the moment, but Beyhan already suggested to add work streams for all working groups as for the other RFCs. And yeah, then someone from our working group can fill in the details or copy it from the last RFC for the FS4 update. Yeah, for us, it's rather clear what we want, what we do.
Yeah, it is on a very early phase, but
it's very early. Yes, I still have not seen the FS5 repository in the GitHub Cloud Foundry organization, but they're working on it.
Is it just now open for review, or should we actively contribute something from CF deployment?
I think I commented something somewhere. Here, the work stream, adoption. Okay, I asked Blamen from the Runtime team if he can add a section, or we do it. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yes, because as I know that the runtime team is actually should be the driver of that, but
okay.
I'm also not 100% sure.
Yeah, maybe if you meet Blamen, then can ask him if he wants to
yes.
complete this RFC or if we should write a few lines. Yeah. Okay.
All right, and regarding the file-based service binding support, Johan.
Yes, so we have finally released this feature. I don't know when we started with that one. So the last step was that our new colleague Sarah and me have implemented an acceptance test for this feature, or we have updated the existing acceptance tests according to the updated RFC. There were two modes now in the updated RFC. Both modes are tested now on also on Windows. That's active in the Windows and in the experimental environment. And now as this feature is validated and everything is green, we've officially released it. That is, we have added a note to the last release notes, and yeah, with that, we are done here.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Was this done, this feature, due to length restrictions, or why was it?
Yes, because the VCAP service, VCAP services environment variable could not take any longer our hundreds of certificates, or what people put in there tons of credentials and stuff. That's why we had to move to file-based service binding so that you have as much space as you want for your service binding information. And now we also have two modes. One is the put it all in one file mode, which is more compatible. And one is the Kubernetes style mode with different files. Yeah. So now you can have as big you can make your service bindings as big as you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super. Do we have anything else to discuss beside these topics?
Not from my side.
No, nothing from our side either, I don't think.
Right. If not, thanks a lot for joining and see you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
All right.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.